1. The Whispering House. In the quiet town of Millville, life moved at a gentle pace. Children played in the streets, and the townsfolk greeted each other with smiles. But every town has its secrets, and in the heart of Millville, there stood a house like no other. This house, known as the Whispering House, cast a looming shadow over the town's cheery spirit. Its windows, cracked and broken, seemed like eyes that watched the townspeople's every move. The wooden planks creaked in the wind, creating eerie sounds that sent chills down anyone's spine. The story went that strange whispers could be heard inside the house, sometimes soft and barely audible, other times a sinister, unintelligible murmur. The bravest townsfolk dared one another to venture closer, but none would step beyond the creaking porch. The legend of the Whispering House was enough to keep them at bay. Then came a stormy night when curiosity got the better of young Sam. The wind howled through the trees, and the moon hid behind the thick clouds, as if nature itself warned of what was to come. Sam, not one to back down from a dare, decided to investigate. Carefully, Sam entered the Whispering House. Every footstep on the rotting wooden floors sounded like a scream in the silent night. The whispers, which had only been rumors, began to surround Sam. They were like voices of the past, trapped in the very walls, speaking words of sorrow and despair. In the darkest room, Sam found a dusty diary. It belonged to a girl who had once called this eerie place home. The diary's last entry was a haunting message. "They won't let me leave." Sam's heart raced as the walls themselves seemed to whisper, "Join us." A shiver shot down Sam's spine, and he fled from the house in terror, never to return. The Whispering House was never visited again. 2. The Haunted House on Pine Street. In the town of Willowbrook, there was an old, abandoned house that sent shivers down everyone's spine. The house was nestled at the end of Pine Street, and it had been empty for as long as anyone could remember. People in Willowbrook had whispered stories about that house for years. They said that at night, a mysterious light would flicker in the upstairs window. It was a pale, eerie light that seemed to dance and beckon, like a lonely ghost searching for company. And if you dared to walk past the house at night, you'd feel something that walked alongside you, matching your every step. You couldn't see it, but you knew it was there, like a shadowy presence that clung to your side. One summer night, a curious teenager named Lily decided to investigate. The moon hung low in the sky, and the stars blinked hesitantly. As she approached the house, she could see that ghostly light in the window flickering in an almost hypnotic way. Lily's heart raced as she walked past the house. She felt a cold breeze on her neck and could sense something there, matching her steps. It was a presence that sent shivers down her spine, and her every instinct told her to run. Lily tried to run, but it was as if an invisible hand held her back. Panic set in as she struggled to move her feet, but she felt stuck, like the ground had turned to quicksand beneath her. Just as fear began to overtake her, the sound of a car engine broke the silence. Headlights pierced the darkness, and a car drove past the house. In that moment, as the car's headlights swept over her, Lily felt the invisible grip release her. She stumbled forward, gasping for breath, and ran as fast as her legs could carry her. The car's taillights disappeared into the distance, leaving the abandoned house behind. Lily knew that she had narrowly escaped something inexplicable that night, and she would never again venture near that haunted place. The mysterious presence had let her go, and she would forever be grateful to the passing car that had freed her from its chilling grasp. 3. The Vanishing Woman of Oakwood Lane. In our town, there was this old house down Oakwood Lane that nobody ever wanted to visit. They called it the Ghostly Manor. Now, the tale about this house goes way back. It was said that on moonlit nights, folks who walked by could see the face of a woman in one of the upstairs windows. She'd be there, staring down at the street with sad eyes. It wasn't just her presence that sent chills down your spine. It was what happened next that made it all so eerie, You'd be walking and your eyes would lock with hers. But before you could blink or catch your breath, the woman's face would just vanish, like a curtain had been drawn to whisk her away. People said it was as if something from inside the house had pulled her back. Now, one night, curious young Jenny was on her way home from her friend's house. She crept along Oakwood Lane, and as the moon bathed everything in silver light, she saw the face just as the stories told. It was a woman, pale and beautiful, with long dark hair. Her eyes, though, held a deep sadness that made Jenny's heart ache. Jenny, being a brave soul, waved to the woman. The woman's lips moved, forming words that Jenny couldn't hear, but she understood. She was pleading, begging for something. Before Jenny could make out what she wanted, the face disappeared, and the curtains rustled as if someone had yanked them shut. Jenny felt a shiver down her spine, and she knew she'd ventured into something beyond her understanding. She hurried home, and from that night on, she never walked Oakwood Lane on a moonlit night again. The ghostly manor remained a mystery, and the woman's face continued to haunt the town, disappearing just as quickly as she appeared, leaving everyone to wonder who she was and why she lingered in that eerie house.